Now we're back at the top. I'm going to show you these chords because I want to show you how to practice chords. You're going to have to go and practice those over and over again, but let me give you some exercises to make that way easier. When you have your chords, we're going to start off with our C, our A minor, and E minor. So the chord name is always going to be in front: C, A minor, and E minor. As long as it's not a power chord, anytime you see just a note, that's telling you that it's a major chord. The minor is going to be labeled minor or have a little M on there for you. So with our C chord, we do not play this string. Let me scrub that one out for you. And on your A minor, we also do not play our sixth string or our low E string. For our C chord, that looks like I'm using my third finger, my second finger. I'm playing third string open, using my first finger here and playing this string open. Not playing my sixth string at all. Remember, with chords, I can play them all at once, stacked, all the notes on the same, or I can play them, right? I can play them individual notes. So let's get this over and do 0, second finger, third finger, first finger, open, open, first, second, open, open, open. Yes. So this is a 6-string chord. You play all your strings. So you have your chord chart ready to go and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, how do I practice this to get better? Anytime that you're learning chords, every single time, like you're at the beginning, so do this always. Strum the chords 4 times and then move to the next chord. That way you're practicing strumming through it, holding that chord down, using your strength in your fingers to hold it down, and then moving to the next one. On tablature, I can either draw an arrow. These are strum arrows. I know it's a little bit backwards, but this is all down. So down, 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 down. You'll see it like this. When I usually write them out, you know, that's a lot of work. I mean, if I'm doing a strum pattern, I'll definitely write it out for you, but we're just gonna do this. So we have, most of the time I will do strum bars. So the same thing, just makes it a little easier to write. This means you're just gonna strum it 4 times. I also use this if there's a set strum pattern that's through the whole song. Instead of writing the strum pattern for every single chord, I'll just write the strum pattern out and then I'll do this. And then you know to apply that strum pattern to each one of the chords. I'll show you what that means here in a minute. So I wanna show you that first before we get into this last chord. These are exercises for you to learn your chords. If you look at this C in the A minor, you only have to move 1 finger. So I'm gonna put my fingers third, second, skip a string, first, open. In the exercise, we're gonna strum it 4 times. To get to the A minor, take your third finger off, slide your middle finger back, add this one right underneath it. So practice that, C to A minor. Now the next chord is A minor to E minor, but look, we have 2 different ways that we can do this. We can do, and play it like it's written. Most of the time you see this chord is going to be written like that. This is a common way to play it. But you can also, from your A minor, just raise up these 2 fingers. Now, why is that important? Because this is the common way. Most of the time, you're gonna see it written like this, but it depends on which way I'm moving. If I'm gonna go from my A minor to my E minor to my G, then I'll use my first and second, which is why this brings us to this next chord that I'm gonna add. So when you're doing this one, E minor, I want you to use your second and third, so that way we can go into our B dominant 7. For the B dominant 7, you just Drop this finger down one string, add your first finger to your fourth string or your D string, and then you're looking right at the very bottom string on your second fret. Now this looks awkward, but it's really not a bad feeling chord. And it's almost the same shape as your G, just down and back a little bit. So you're gonna go C, A minor, E minor, B dominant 7. What? Let me write this chord out for you now. I had to fix everything. Now we're back. So we have our 4 chords: C, A minor, E minor, and B dominant 7. So you look at that up there. Anytime you see a letter and 7, that just means it's the dominant chord. That's just telling you that it's going to have this tension to it. The dominant chord is always the 5th chord in a key. Just FYI, right? Little knowledge there. Repeat that 100 million times. So practicing our chords, always start off with 4 strums. We're just gonna start using one finger, C, move that 1 to A minor, move up to E minor, drop down to B dominant 7. Practice those movements. As you get better at chords, you want to be able to change them faster. Start off strumming it 4 times, then strum it 2 times. When you can get that, make it an exercise where you strum it 1 time. On tablature, this is what a C chord will look like. It's stacked, 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. And like I said, normally I take this and I'll write the fingerings on there for you. 3rd finger, 2nd finger, 1st finger. This means the same thing as a strum. You're playing all of these at the same time. But anytime you see these squiggly lines, that just means that you're holding that note out. For as long as you can. Just as long as it takes in the music. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding the chords out like this, strumming it 4 times, helps build the muscles in your fingers to be able to hold down even more complicated chords later on. So let me write this out the way that would look like this. So you have C, A minor, E minor, B dominant 7. Boom. An arrow. That way you know that you're supposed to strum this chord. So like I said, this little blue line means that you're gonna hold this chord out. So that's 2 ways that you could look at it. C, A minor. Now when it gets to the E minor, it's just implied that you know the chord. It's implied that you know the B dominant.